In this video, it was meant to be a lovely day, but somehow isn't. But nonetheless, this is Foxanne's last day of legality. Her MOT, or road safety standard, runs out tomorrow. So I need to take her for a drive today. So we're going to go out, even though the weather's rubbish. You may recall from the previous video I'm having choke cable struggles. I still am, but I've rigged up this setup, which will hopefully work just to get her started. I'll have to warm her up before we go. I will spare you all of that, but I need to grab some keys and we'll see if she'll start first of all. Alright, keep your fingers crossed, people. Feels strange not setting the choke, but I've actually removed the cable altogether. It's very dark in here. We'll improve situations shortly. But Foxanne, if you could start, that would be good. This is your last hurrah. Yep, I'd say that is working. In fact, she's even slightly over choking. That's not enough choke, and I need both hands. Bother. There we go. I've reset the choke. We'll let her warm up before we can go for a drive. I didn't quite get as advanced as Majin to get the cable inside, so I can control the choke from the inside. That's all right. Once she's warm, she'll be fine. Right, our drive begins. She's warmed up. She's very, very gently demisting. In the misty distance, just about there is the sea, heading up north along the east coast. We're on a very curved bit of Wales here, right in the middle of Wales. So we're going to go and try and go that way. But there's no road access to start with, so we're going to go back up. We're going to head to Llangrannog. She's ticking over beautifully. She's running lovely today. So that's good. She's up for this final adventure for a bit. But yeah, poor Foxanne. She is probably the most neglected car on the fleet, and that's saying something. Because I think she's done the least miles. I think she may have just done 1,000 miles since coming back on the road. But yeah, she hasn't been the default choice. Mirrors visibility is terrible. For a very long time, so poor Foxanne, she does suffer a bit. She is misting up something rotten today. It's making life extra exciting. There is a heater, it has one speed and it isn't fitted very well, and there is the bouncy front end, just reminding me that I really do need to get some dampers. Oh, it does sound like the ignition timing is slightly off as well. That's not helping. So for those who are fairly new to the channel, Foxanne is a 1983 Reliant Fox. That's the same company that built the three-wheelers that are rather famous. But they did make four-wheelers as well, albeit not very successfully. The three-wheelers were able to be driven by people on a motorbike license, so they could upgrade from their motorbike and sidecar to a proper four-wheeler, proper three-wheeler rather, a proper car. And the four-wheelers tended to be a bit too heavy for that and a bit too expensive to compete against the likes of the Mini and other small economy cars. So the engine is Reliant's own 4-cylinder all alloy little petrol engine with an SU carburettor, a design very much inspired stroke lifted from standard Triumph, the engine fitted to the Triumph Herald. It's very similar to that. Reliant produced that engine from the 1960s all the way through to the early 2000s, when Reliant sadly had to bring production to an end. The underpinnings of the Fox are very similar to the Reliant Kitten, which was the four-wheeler version of the Robin. Effectively, some subtle changes to the front suspension, but otherwise it is very much a Kitten chassis. It's a galvanised chassis, it's fiberglass bodywork. She should therefore be completely impervious to the Welsh weather. The wipers are not the best, to be honest. I think the springs on the arms are a bit tired. The windscreen itself is from the Fiat 127. I really wish I had a little demisting cloth. We're getting some clearance of the windscreen going on at the bottom, but I think we can describe this as slightly less than ideal. Today was meant to be a dry day, so I'm slightly miffed, but once again, Wales is Wales. I've just realised I've driven entirely past the junction I was meant to take. Yeah, that was very good of me. So maybe we can catch up by going this way. There's a Toyota Hilux with a camper on the back there. Take that corner a little early to make sure we get out of everyone's way. For those trying to follow on a map, we've reached Cwmtydu. This is feeling very British, driving along, not being able to see because it's raining and cold and miserable, and your windscreen's steamed up. Despite the inclement weather here, it took the Brits a very long time to get on top of making heating and ventilation systems that actually worked. Now, where are we here? Junction coming up. I think this might be the junction I was meant to be coming out at. So we think the post box is down that way. Llangrannog that way, Cwmtydu straight on. The Fox has much lower gearing than the three-wheelers because it was designed for carrying a payload. So like 4-to-1 on the back axle. And that axle very popular with banger racers who like racing Reliant Robins. They like the shorter gearing because it means more acceleration. The gearing of the three-wheelers is actually fairly tall, so they will do 80 miles an hour quite readily, should you be brave enough. I've not actually got much experience of driving Reliant three-wheelers. I've owned 2 Reliant four-wheelers. I also used to own a Scimitar. Yes, poor Foxanne, because she's noisy and very short of gearing, and I've really failed to completely sort out some of her mechanical maladies. She's never been the premier choice for going on long distance trips, but I hope to remedy that situation in 2021. We'll get the front suspension sorted out, get the engine tuned up properly, and perhaps she can go on some bigger adventures. I'm even wondering about swapping out the back axle, because I'm not very likely to use Foxanne for moving huge parts about, huge heavy parts. There are better vehicles for doing that. Cwmtydu to the left here, following the road around. Got water dripping in now, which is delightful. An awful lot of downhill, pushing those servo-free drum brakes to the limits. I have to drop to first for this little hairpin. There we go. Handy that the Reliance turning circle is absolutely superb, so making easy work of these hairpins, or switchbacks, depending on which country you originate from. So here we are at Cwmtydu, Cwm Valley, I think that tends to mean. Tiddy, no idea, but a U is pronounced E in Welsh, pretty much. But yeah, here's Foxanne, enjoying the view here at pretty little Cwmtydu. It's a tiny little bay, tiny little inlet going on here. Very nice. Should we take a run up there? Yes, let's do that. I'm just going to leave her running because I'm hoping she's going to continue demisting her windscreen. So this is something a bit new. Going for a run with Hubnut. We run up this hill onto the top of this little point here for this view out there. And now the rain stopped. Really appreciate it all the more. I don't know if this road actually goes anywhere. There are toilets down there apparently, but we should carry on our journey. So that was Cwmtydu. So nice to be out of the house again, to be honest. Well, there we go. My plan to leave her sitting here demisting hasn't entirely worked. Put some lights back on again. Need to swing around to make sure there's no one coming, and we'll go and see if there's anything down here, because I've no idea. What does that sign say? Cwmtydu, that would suggest you can get along this road, so let's do that. Oh, what a beautiful day, folks, for a drive in a tiny little Reliant. cleared the view, so hopefully you can see a bit better what's going on. Oh, wheel spin, Foxanne. We almost ran over a squirrel, so that was almost a case of a fox catching a squirrel. Oh gosh, this front end is bouncy. It's certainly a very pretty little road. All that exploring I did the other side of the world. Exactly 1 year ago to the day, at the time of recording, I was driving Betty the Ford Fairmont from one side of South Island and New Zealand to the other, and got her stuck on a beach. I'm hoping not to get stuck on a beach today, but in the UK there aren't so many beaches you can drive on, so that's less of a risk anyway, to be honest. Yeah, much as I love little cars, that Ford Fairmont AU really was the thing for covering distance. Far less exhausting. Gosh, there's some standing water about today. Okay, I think we shall head to Plump rather than go back to Newquay. No idea where we are. Oh, Plump's that way, Llangrannog is this way. I think that will probably be our next beach. We shall yield to the larger transit van. She's hanging her tail out, the little minx. Penbryn and Aberporth, I think. That's an interesting one. We shall stop there just so I can show you the sign. Yep, there you go. I wish I had Miss Hubnut with me now to pronounce that one correctly. But yeah, Penbryn and Aberporth, I think, is how that is pronounced. Cute little village. Look at Mount Pleasant Cottage. I have to show you out of the window. That's rather pretty. Chimney smoking away. So let's see what we find here. Well, it's certainly very pretty. Look at this building. That's unusual in Wales to see a cottage of such age with a thatched roof. Very common in England, more rural parts, but quite rare here, as I say. But what a beautiful spot this is. You got a lovely stone bridge here. Stream babbling along underneath. Marvellous. What a pretty little day out this is turning to be. Right, it's starting to rain. Back to the car. Oh, Cwmtydu, that's another road to Cwmtydu there. We've already been down there. Oh wow, this is properly interesting. Oh, Volkswagen Caddy. Calm down, Foxanne. Struggling to get all that power down. Tractor. Look at that lovely old sign. So we're joining the B4321, heading to Llangrannog and Boone. only briefly because we're into a 30 limit. There we are. Llangrannog, Croeso, or welcome. This is a dainty little town. Dainty little church to the right here. So nice to have an outing in Foxanne. Really, the only outing she's had is when I took her to Bromley Pageant just after getting her back on the road last year. She hasn't really been anywhere else. Oh gosh. This is very pretty and very small. Reminds me of St Ives down in Cornwall. Oh gosh, it looks like we can drive into the sea. They'd probably prefer if we didn't. So here we are in seemingly deserted Llangrannog. Plenty of seagulls about, but Foxanne is perched right on the precipice of a very pretty little beach. But good golly, I'm glad I wasn't here a few days ago. Look at the stones that have been thrown up here. Gosh, it's obviously got rather exciting at some point, but shall we jump onto the beach? Fitting that I'm on a beach a year ago from being on a beach in New Zealand. But yeah, plenty of water running down. It's very pretty here, and if I was so inclined, I could take a walk up there. But I'm not so inclined because I'm really lazy, and we got more journeying to do. Is your door shut properly, Foxanne? No, I don't believe it is. There we go. Now she's good to go again. So I think we're just going to continue on our way. And we'll continue along that road that's got all the stones along it. Oh gosh, yeah, I really have had some stuff thrown up along here. Blimey. I've never been to Llangrannog. I've lived in Wales how many years now? Oh wow, look at this. Some fortifications. Oh, she does struggle for traction. Where's the road going here? I think it's going this way. Lost my momentum, that was bad. Right, we are now working our way down to Penbryn Beach, which is not one I'd even heard of before. You can see the sea this way, so we'll just keep on going, shall we? What a fun journey of exploration this has been. Oh wow. The sign says no parking, but others seem to be taking the view of stuff it. Yeah, we'll have a bit of an explore here. Nice pile of beach debris there. And we'll go and have a quick explore of the beach. It might be very quick because it is starting to rain again. But yeah, what a spot. Let's go down here. Here we go. Some good waves coming in today. Wow. Yeah, fairly deserted. Whoa. What a spot. But as nice as this is, the journey must continue. Testing the digital stabilization of my DJI Osmo action camera as I run back up the beach. There we go. So you would normally park up the top and walk down, I guess. Marvellous. when the clutch is dragging just a bit, making getting reverse quite difficult. Giving that little dog under control. Oh, such a contrast of a year. After 5 months of travelling around New Zealand and Australia, to come back to the UK and then not be allowed to go anywhere, yeah, it's very, very different indeed. And I fear, sadly, things are going to get worse before they get better. I think people are going to be meeting up far too much over Christmas, and I know people need to meet, and people are desperate to meet. We're all getting a bit of COVID fatigue. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it being over, but it isn't over yet. So we've still got a bit more endurance we must endure. Or something. Right, I was coming along this road before I got distracted, I think. No, we'll go this way. I love journeys like this, where you're just like, should we go that way, should we go that way? And so far I haven't ended up back where I started, so that's good. Right, I think we have reached Tresaith. I have been to Tresaith before. I remember it being spectacular, but that was in the summer. Not the summer just gone, a few years ago now. Right, we're going down a bit. I think they would rather you didn't come down normally, especially in the summer months, because it'll be busy. So they usually have some parking here when you walk down, but today, because it's almost Christmas and freezing cold, I don't think it's going to be an issue. And here we are down at the beach. And we'll just sneak into this one. It does say disabled, but there's plenty of spaces available. We're not going to be here long. Right, here we are. Down at Tresaith Beach. Oh gosh, we've even got surfers on the beach here. Oh yes, I remember this. Fantastic rocks. A three-legged chair. What more could you want? But yeah, very impressive waves. Are we going to see any surfers? He's going for it. He's up. Ah, nice skill, sir. Oh, he's down. Yeah, what a beautiful spot. So this is Tresaith. And starting to get to the stage I could do with finding somewhere to have some lunch. So I think we're going to push on. Aberporth is the next stop along the coast, I think. We're getting ever closer to Cardigan. Never did I think a Reliant Fox would need a limited slip diff, but apparently she does. I have got a bit of an issue going on with the clutch. I think the clutch is slipping out of adjustment, so that's why I'm struggling to get reverse. The synchro mesh is just about helping the forward gears engage. So work to be done before she hits the road again in 2021. Oh, this is Aberporth. Sorry, that's where we are. I've just seen a sign. I've never been here. They have an airport at Aberporth. It's where they fly drones from, slightly controversially. But I've been up there because they have some space that we used to do Midas Driver of the Year as a minibus driver competition, and I was a judge one day after becoming a Midas instructor, so that was exciting. But yeah, I've never actually been to Aberporth, and here it is. Parking of vehicles on the beach is prohibited, so we'll park up and go and do some exploring and possibly have some lunch and possibly wish I'd bought a coat. Have a rest, Foxanne. Right, let's have a look at what delights we've got on offer here then. Gosh. Dog walkers are having a lovely day of it, aren't they? Marvellous. So I'm going to wrap that one up. I think we've had a lovely day seeing the sights. It's been a splendid day out. I've enjoyed that very much. Feeling slightly guilty that I've left Miss Hubnut home educating at home, but only a little bit. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Farewell.